Thank you. The last 3 years have been very difficult for students, parents, and staff. While we are slowly returning to some sense of normalcy, many are still struggling. As an association, we work to improve the school environment for everyone by addressing stressors with the district administration and by giving a voice to employee concerns at events like the one we hosted last spring, 100 Voices. How would you like to see the governing board and the district administration address student and staff mental health? The order will be Mrs. Jonas, Mrs. Humphreys, Ms. Adams.
Okay, this is a huge problem, not just in schools, but just in society. From COVID, everything we've been through, it's been honestly a really traumatic experience for our whole community as a whole, going through this whole experience. So I think it's a few ideas of things we could do. I think we need even more counselors dedicated to mental health on our campuses. Luckily, we were able to pass the bond and have already had in place prior to even COVID happening, where we kind of had that set up. And I know from being on campus that whereas they had people that came in, it was more them reaching out and things prior to COVID, which was very, very right before COVID, that now it is a constant stream of children and students coming and seeing them. And I mean, it is a huge problem. Talking to principals, administrators, and being on campus, the students really are needed. And another thing is having an opportunity for all of those professionals on the campus to be able to share their best practices. So for instance, I have a child at Highland High School, and they're doing some really, really amazing things, and I don't know that that's necessarily been replicated at all the schools. There's an amazing mental health counselor there who's created this, special spaces and special classes and all of these things that she's doing to reach out to the children. And I think it would be a great opportunity, because I'm sure there's other amazing things happening on other campuses, for an opportunity for them to be able to share and network those ideas to be even more successful. In terms of staff, just even having better access to counselors and mental health professionals. And I do think, as Jill mentioned, about dealing with kids who have behavioral issues and how that obviously contributes to overall staff mental health when you're dealing with really, really difficult situations in your classroom. And so really trying to work on that. And last thing would be the no cell phones, really enforcing no cell phones on campus during school. And I think that's critical to kids' mental health and also teachers in dealing with those students.
Well, mental health has been an issue, and it's something that we have worked on. I understand that struggle. I've had children who have had that struggle with depression and anxiety, so it is really hard. In 2018, after the Parkland shooting, remember our high school students got organized and did some March for Our Lives things, and one of those groups from Gilbert High School came to a school board meeting with a resolution, and those students spoke to us and talked about the importance of having a mental health counselor on campus, and that their friends were struggling and they didn't feel that they could deal with all of those issues just as a friend, that their friends needed help. We took that resolution, put it on our board agenda, and adopted that resolution. And then when we were looking at our override, we increased our override so that we could afford to pay for those mental health counselors and a social worker in every elementary and junior high. We made that decision before the pandemic, and then it went into effect just as we were starting the next school year, I think the 2021 school year. And I know that has been a big help. We're partnering with social services on our campus. But this is an issue that isn't just the schools to deal with, it's for all of us to deal with. And part of it is to remove that stigma, because we do have counseling sessions available to our employees. I remember one principal telling me that if they use it, they feel like there's a concern that the district will find out. Please call and get those counseling sessions if you need them. There's no concern on our part. We want you to have the support and the strategies to have self-care and the help in anything that you need. Thanks.
Thank you. I actually really appreciate hearing from you both. Yeah, we're hearing more and more from teachers that the struggles that the students are having, and the students are just completely different from 10 years ago, which we all know. It's not just from COVID, although that has had a huge impact. I think as I can agree with both of these ladies, but so grateful for a district that now has those social workers on every K-3 campus and the mental health counselors at the high schools. And I think we just need to continue to encourage our students to take advantage of those. And then as our teachers recognize students that are struggling, that they also reach out to parents and partner with them to get the best help and get to those resources for those kids. I also think we need to continue to support our technology department. They have some great, I don't know if they're filters, but measures in place that if kids do type something into their Chromebooks that indicates any type of looking to self-harm or suicide or anything like that, they have alert teams at both the tech services and on campus to be able to intervene, and that has actually saved lives. It's been kind of awesome, so we need to continue to support that and make sure they get the support that they need. As far as the staff, I agree with Jill, utilizing and encouraging people, removing the stigma to take advantage of their employee assistance programs, as well as the wellness programs that incentivize good mental, physical, and emotional health. And then any feedback you can give us on what we can do further, I think we would really, really appreciate that, and what would be best for you.